some youths in Ondo State, in the heartland of Yoruba land, has reacted against the mischief of the Ondo State Governor, Lucky Ayedatiwa, who declared that Ondo State is for the re-election of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He is probably responsible for the so-called grassroots movement for Tinubu and erected billboards canvassing for Bola Ahmed Tinubu's re-election in 2027. So angry youths destroyed the billboards to express displeasure and opposition to such a move by the governor and the so-called movement. The leader of the movement says that the destruction of the billboards was a deliberate attempt to erase the progress that Nigeria is currently experiencing under the presidency of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. A deliberate attempt to erase the progress currently being experienced under Tinubu. Ironically, he fails to explain what progress Nigeria is experiencing under Tinubu. Progress. Progress of all subsidies are gone. Progress of transferring funds to indigent households. Progress of paying workers less than living wage. Progress of funding pilgrimage boards and subsidizing pilgrimages for privileged Christians and Muslims. Progress of worsening insecurities, including in Ondo State. So that is the problem Nigeria is facing. Those who are enjoying under the presidency of Bola Ahmed Tinubu want him to continue in 2027 as Muhammadu Buhari continued in 2019. But do these people expect Nigerians to remain foolish and to learn nothing from history, and to expect that Bola Ahmed Tinubu should get second term to perpetuate worse evil than in his first term? Because that was what Muhammadu Buhari did. And I keep asking, which governor, which president did better in the second term than in the first term? Because by our experience, second term is usually reserved for the worst forms of corruption and the implementation of devilish agendas that could not be implemented by anybody looking for second term. So, Muhammadu Buhari served second term 8 years. Where is he today? And was his second term not more agonizing than his first term? Or who exactly did better in second term than in the first term? That is the problem. Because you would have expected, well, of course, they would do minimally good to get second term. But once they get second term and they have nothing else at stake, they do anything, shameless things. So now, Ondo State youths who are opposing the re-election of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu represent the anger in the land, the anger, the misery, the agony in the land, not so-called progress by faceless people. I don't know if it's faceless because people are no longer ashamed of saying rubbish or doing rubbish. Progress that Nigeria is currently experiencing under Tinubu. Which progress? In what direction? Progress. Progress of student loan rather than funding education as hitherto. Fraudulence of worsening mass abject poverty. Oh God. And these are youths, tomorrow's leaders. Nigerians, wake up. 2017 is very close. You, opposition political leaders, who are creating confusion because you want to become president by all means. You don't want to care about North, South, or zonal justice. You are contributing to our hardship. You are not Nigeria's friend, you are Nigeria's enemy. So far, so bad. We have not seen the difference between you and the All Progressives Congress. Until you tell Nigerians, this is our presidential candidate and drop support for him. And that person we expect to be Peter Obi, coming from the north, from the southeast. The only zone that has not produced Nigeria's president to represent North, South, and zonal justice, so that we start with a modicum of justice, as I've been saying. But you are dragging your feet, and you think that you can use the coalition to attain your ambition, your misplaced ambition. It's not going to happen. Once you don't present Peter Obi as the coalition has crumbled. That is just it. Because Nigerians don't want change for the sake of change, but for the sake of positive change. That is it. So it's not going to be like 2015 with all the empty promises. And Nigerians were not reading in between the lines. Because the moment Muhammadu Buhari said he was going to defeat Boko Haram in 2015, I withdraw support from him, because I know nobody will be fighting Boko Haram and develop Nigeria. Worse than that, he added herdsmen terrorism. And now Tinubu is sustaining both the war, the herdsmen terrorism, and added his own. All subsidies are gone. And here are some people raising grassroots movement for the re-election of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, championed by the state governor, Lucky Ayedatiwa. Good luck, Ebele Asikwe Jonathan. The good luck in his name was only for him, not for Nigeria. So your Lucky Ayedatiwa, your luck is your luck. Nigerians who are suffering cannot say they are lucky. That is the truth. You see, you happen to be lucky, Ayedatiwa. Ayé lè dá tiyín ṣùgbọ́n kò dá tọmọ Nàìjíríà. Kò dá tọmọ Nàìjíríà. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọ Nàìjíríà ń jìyà. Nigerians are suffering. They can't consider themselves lucky. That's what I'm saying. Nigerians cannot consider themselves lucky as things are this way. Hardship all over the place. So you create hardship. You now say you are now claiming to be transferring funds to indigent households and asking indigent students to come for loan rather than paying workers so that they can cater for their children in school. and in life. So those of you who form the grassroots movement for Tinubu, good luck to you. But by God's grace, Nigerians are wiser than 2015. Nigerians have experienced Bola Ahmed Tinubu since 2023 till date. So they know what he represents. He represents war against the Boko Haram Muslim community. He represents herdsmen terrorism. He represents all subsidies are gone. That's what he represents. So suffering of workers, suffering of common people. That's what Tinubu represents. And by God's grace, he will not continue in 2027. And that is why we are calling on opposition political parties to unite, put their house in order, and let Nigerians know the presidential candidate they are backing. Not just anyone. Peter Obi, as representing North, South, and Zonal Justice. As simple as that. Not somebody from the North, where Muhammadu Buhari served 8 years. Not somebody from the Southwest, where Olusegun Obasanjo served 8 years. And Tinubu is serving 4 years. Or South, where Goodluck Ebele Azikiwe Jonathan already served 8 years in Aso Rock as vice president, as acting president, and as substantive president, 8 years in Aso Rock. So let the Southeast produce Nigeria's next president. That's what we are saying. And we have not seen anybody who has come out to prove to us that he is better than Peter Obi. That is the issue. So those of you in grassroots movement for Tinubu, it is you who know what you got to create the movement and the ulterior motives behind it. But as for majority of Nigerians, they need you to tell them the progress that you are talking about. Because you say deliberate attempt to erase the progress that Nigeria is currently experiencing. What progress? Define it for us.